you see out of your team in that close loss against Indiana?
I thought we started a little slow, but then really showed some resistance and toughness, coming back and battling and really having multiple opportunities down the stretch to win the game. So I love that. I love, like I said, the toughness that we played with and the confidence that we played with. And we were right there. So we got to learn from it and get better from that game.
Would you say that second quarter was the most important quarter of your season so far just because you needed to punch back?
Yeah, and we talked about that going into the game. I said it's going to be a battle. It's going to, and I actually used the analogy of a heavyweight battle, and you're going to get hit, and we need to build a punch back. And then they're going to make us some more punches, and we got to punch back. And that's any good fight is like that. So I really loved, there was a time there, I think it was 19-5. And there was a timeout, and I actually said, I'm like, if we don't start playing the way that we're capable of playing and defending it and playing harder, we're gonna get blown out. And from that moment on, we fought back and we got right back in the game. So that was the biggest thing for me, was seeing that fight and just the toughness to get back in it.
On that, it sounds like you knew in that moment that Indiana is not necessarily 15 points better than you. They just needed to execute better.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in our players. I believe in the level that they're able to defend at, and I have seen it. So I knew we weren't playing up to our level, and so just really proud of again the fight, to be able to get back to battle, to have opportunities. We want to win that game. There's no moral victories in this, but to see those things, we gotta learn from it, because we gotta learn how to win those tight games in a really hostile environment.
Rutgers has a short roster, so what's key tomorrow night?
They only have 8, but those 8, they're really, really tough. They defend, they rebound at a high level. So we really have to do a good job of boxing out and getting bodies on people, because they're very athletic and they're tough, they're scrappy. They played Ohio State really tough the other day. So as you guys know, you get into conference play, and every game is an absolute battle, and every game is so critical.
You were kind of talking about after the game just how you felt like this would be about, maybe learning something from this game. What do you hope your kind of team learns from that performance against Indiana, building forward?
I want us to take confidence from it, but I also want us to not be happy with not coming away with what we went there to do, and that was to get a win. So this group is still inexperienced in those tight moments, especially, again, in an environment like that. So we're learning from that, and being in those moments, you really can't simulate it. So you gotta endure it. You gotta go through it, and then hopefully the next time we're in that situation, we can capitalize and we can win.
You were kind of talking about too, you wanted to look at the film and see that the looks that you got there at the end. Was it about what you thought you got the right looks and everything? The shot just didn't fall there?
Yeah, actually, I watched the game 2 times that night. I rewatched it, and I would take those shots every time. And Makaira was feeling it, and we wanted to get the ball in her hands, and she had a great shot. She had a great layup on the one, and then she had a great jump shot, and unfortunately came up short. But we got what we wanted, and I trust her in that moment every single time.
Did you like what you saw in your players on the trip home? And the reason I ask is I compare it to the football team coming home from Michigan going, damn it, we should have got that one. Mm-hmm. I don't care what numbers by their name, we should have got that one.
I think that's exactly how we felt. And I asked them again yesterday, I said, how do you guys feel? And they said, mad, disappointed, and I want those. That's what I want. I don't want them to be like, oh, I'm happy we're in it. No, I mean, that's great. But again, the mentality, the mindset, our expectation is to go and win every single game that the ball's tipped. So, but obviously Indiana is a really good team. I mean, they are a very good team, definitely, ranked what they should be, with veteran players that have been in it. So, I am, though, proud that we were, right where we wanted to be. Like I always say, if we can at least be, we want to be in a position to win the game down the stretch, and we were that on Sunday.
On that level, though, can you feel like in a practice scenario you can simulate some of those end of game, end of quarter, end of half kind of scenarios so that your team is better prepared for what you hope will be the rest of this year?
Yeah, I mean, we try to simulate those all the time with situational stuff, in-game stuff. Again, the execution piece in terms of the end of the game play was great. We got exactly the shot we thought we would get, it just was short, you know. And even the play before that, you know, we got what we wanted. We just missed a layup. And you know, so some of those things we try to simulate as much as we can, but that pressure is a little bit different and feels a little bit different in front of, you know, 8,000 people with the game on the line.
Did you sense anything different from Akira going into that game where you felt like she was going to have a big game? Or, I mean, can you maybe, is there something you could sense with a player that you know they're going to have the kind of game that she had, or is it just sort of how it kind of manifests itself?
Yeah, I mean, with her, like, with all these guys, and obviously her I know a little better, right, because I've been around her for 2 years, and I just keep, you know, last couple games I've really been in her ear that day of the game of just, like, really be in attack mode, really, like, you know, believe in what you do and look for your shots. Like, don't facilitate, yes, but, like, we need you to take those shots. So and when she gets in a groove, though, I mean, she made some shots that rewatching it, you can't teach that. It's smooth. She's an elite player, and she had a special day, and that's why, again, I'll put the ball in her hands late, you know, every single time.
Schematically, as a coach, did you get a sense Sunday that you've wanted to get the score in the 80s, maybe even into the 90s, as much as you possibly can, but when you're at somebody else's place and the game's in the 60s, it seemed like you were very, very competitive and playing that way on the other end of the floor as well?
You know, it's funny because that's what I'm used to.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm used to. That's what we've been. My 6 years at Dayton, you know, we didn't have many games in the 80s. We were 60s, you know, keep them low scoring. So we've always hung our hat on that defense. So that's where, you know, I'm comfortable playing. And I thought our kids really did a great job defensively. I mean, no one's held them, you know, to 65 points or less since UConn last year. So, I mean, you know, I think a lot of the things that we did, you know, it's working, and now it's the consistency. Now it's, you know, how do we get those big stops at the end? How do we put those moments together down the stretch? But schematically, I think that it just proves, you know, our system and gives our players some more confidence in it.
Tomorrow, take on Rutgers before a short out-of-conference play, before Big Ten play. How important is that to get a win before you head into that stretch?
It's critical. Every conference game is so critical. And then I've been telling our players, the home court is so important. You got to take care of your home court in conference play. So, and Rutgers is going to come in with the same feeling, knowing how critical it is for them. So, this is a big game. You know, no doubt about it. It's a big game. Every conference game's big, but especially, you know, before we have a few more non-conference and go into Christmas break, we need to get this one tomorrow.
And one away from surpassing last year's win total. Has that been in the back of your mind at all this year? Is just a goal to get through?
No. Just try to go 1-0 every day.
I see Aisha out here. Is she getting closer to returning? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, do you expect her to be back maybe on Wednesday against Rutgers?
I don't know about tomorrow, but definitely, hopefully on Sunday at Butler.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's good to have her back. We need some size. We need some length.
For sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Shauna.
Thank you.